I just think that is utter nonsense and complete and utter rubbish. Speaking of which, of course, we're going to talk to Johnny Wells now, who's the Mayor of St Ives, because there's a new waste collection system in Cornwall which has sparked an abandoned bin problem in some areas of the county. This is with the background that we were talking about earlier on today, of families in some parts of the country who are being forced to sort their rubbish into as many as 10 different bins and bags, which are all collected, of course, at very different times. And if you miss the collection one week, you might not see them again for another 3 weeks. It's absolutely mad. And, of course, most people don't really believe in recycling. Plenty of countries do it better than we do. Plenty of countries don't do it at all. But let's find out from Johnny Wells, the Mayor of St Ives, what exactly is it like in his part of the world. Johnny, very good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, very well indeed. Thanks for joining us. I mean, recycling has been a story that I've talked about for probably, I don't know, a couple of decades on this show and various other shows, because it's a thing that sort of, it's a part of everybody's life, but it sort of drives people a bit mad. And when you see stories like we've seen this morning about, you know, dozens of areas where there are some 6 different, you know, containers that you have to put stuff in. Some places you've got 10, other places you've got food waste, other places don't do it. Some places, like my place in London, you put all recycling, bottles, cans, cardboard, paper, everything into one big bin. Other places you have to separate it. It's a bit of a madness, isn't it?
Yeah, it is difficult, but of course, you know, as a society, we just generate way more rubbish now than we ever used to, and it's one of those things that, you know, we've got to start. I think we do have to start embracing it, because, you know, you just can't carry on generating piles of rubbish everywhere. And, you know, in the old days, and I know we all kind of look fondly back, but the simple thing was a milk bottle. You know, we all used to get milk delivered, and the bottle got picked up by the milkman the next day and then went home and got filled and, you know, came back. So, yeah, we are generating way more rubbish than we ever used to, and it just doesn't seem to be going in any other direction, really.
But isn't part of the problem, though, Johnny, the fact that all of these, you know, packaging companies that we now use and food companies that we use, because in their efforts to go greener, somehow have ended up with more packaging? I don't know how that worked, really.
I know, it's classic, isn't it? And also, you've, of course, got the environmental side, or the environmental health side of it, you know, where, you know, to keep stuff fresh and keep stuff, you know, safe, it has to be packaged in certain ways. And it is, you know, that's really where we should be addressing the situation, is at the packaging level, and rather than leaving it to the end user to have to deal with, really. That's the...
So what's happening in your neck of the woods? Because I'm seeing reports that residents are saying the replacement of the old green wheelie bins with new black ones has kind of screwed everything up. What's actually happened?
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, big change like bin collection is never going to go smooth and easy when you're talking about, you know, a big county. And yeah, they've decided to do food. So we've now got food recycling, or food waste. We've got normal recycling. We've got general rubbish, and also there's green, you know, garden waste that they collect.
So you've got 4 bins then?
Yeah.
And what do you do with the food? See, I've never understood the food waste. I in London, I live in Southwark Council. They came round without me asking for it and put a sort of little red box with a lid outside my front door. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, you know, you've basically spent millions of pounds making these, presumably paying somebody to make them. You've given it to me. I'm not putting food waste underneath my sink. I'm sorry, you know, because that's going to lead to ants and, you know, cockroaches and all sorts of things, rats maybe. I'm just not doing it. And so I have never done it.
Well, they've issued us with little grey bins for inside, and then you've got a green bin for outside. You put your food waste in the grey bin. It's in a compostable plastic bag that then gets put in the bin outside, and they're sealable bin units, so they don't, so, you know, animals and stuff can't get in. Because, of course, with rubbish down here, we have a massive problem with seagulls getting into rubbish bags. Of course you do,
and stuff. Yeah, well, I think it's is it Lyme Regis? I know that's not in Cornwall, but we've got like seagull insurance now. If you buy a ham sandwich, you know, you can actually get insurance, and if the seagull nicks your sandwich, you can go back and get another one.
Do you know what? I never heard of that, but that sounds brilliant. We have it. They did a study on that here actually a long time ago about the seagulls nicking food, and apparently there's like one ringleader seagull that leads all the others into the
Oh, they're like gangs, yeah. I mean, I tell a story
really
which
bad,
people have heard many times about. I was clattered on the head once by a seagull in Lyme Regis who took my sunglasses, and I was thinking, you know, they must have some kind of lair somewhere where they've just got all this shiny stuff. But I mean, the other problem that people always say to me is that how do we know that actually the recycling gets recycled? Because you know, I've heard again from many people who used to work in the refuse business, and they go, yeah, we just chuck it all in the landfill at the end of the day. It doesn't actually really end up anywhere, or it gets sent to China.
Yeah, I mean, that is another problem that, you know, that we do have to deal with. And again, you know, we're kind of, it's not, you know, whether you're environmentalist or not environmentalist, there is rubbish everywhere. And it really is ruining, you know, the countryside and the world, really.
Right.
And so we do need to deal with it one way or another. And whether, like I said, whether you're an environmentalist and feel that it all needs to be recycled or not, whatever your feelings about it, it needs to be dealt with properly.
We've just got too much stuff, though, haven't we?
Yeah, too much stuff. Consumerism, and you know, down here now we've got, you know, takeaways is a big thing, you know, and every single person that buys a takeaway, anything, something, you know, they have it in a. I mean, you can look at that pictures there. That's all takeaway rubbish, which is. You know, you've got to start looking at the businesses that are generating this and start saying, you guys have got to step up a bit more.
But that's the problem as well, because as a community leader, which is not a phrase I like to use, you know, you have to come up with a way of punishing people, which is going to make you very unpopular, because nobody wants to be paying fines and being told what to do. You know, people get fed up with that, don't they? Yeah,
they do. And my you know, philosophy on a lot of this is kind of go with the flow. You know, don't try and stop the flow, but go with it and direct it in a direction that makes it better.
Yeah.
And
would you mind coming to be the mayor of London, Johnny? I think
I'd
you do a
love to be the mayor of London.
You know, far better job than the bloke we got at the moment, who keeps getting inexplicably re-elected, Sadiq Khan, who I've asked on this show about 30,000 times and he never comes on.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do that. It'd be great. I really enjoy being there. It's really good. You know, there's the downsides to it are, you know, you become a sort of figurehead of people pointing the finger, but but you know, when you do things that are good, it's really good. You know, and it's great, and we're in such a fortunate place down here.
Yes, and Ives is lovely.
It is beautiful, and we're so lucky. And you know, you did mention about, you know, people coming away here on holiday and being sort of confused about what to do with the bins. But the issue with tourism and bins is actually, if you're paying to stay here, you know, you shouldn't be using the public bin system. The company who's sorting your accommodation out, they need to sort your waste out, because they need to do it commercially.
Yes.
So you know,
I get that totally. Listen, Johnny, good to talk to you. We must talk again, because you're obviously a very sensible individual, very unlike most people who run anything in this country. Thank you very much indeed. Mayor of St Ives there.